and turn it to sugar, which will enter our bloodstream. Okay, so for some of us who do not know like what exactly is carbohydrates, right? Carbohydrates are like rice, rotis, bread, okay, potatoes, right? So these are carbohydrate groups. Okay, so when we eat any of these food types, okay, especially white rice, white bread or white rotis, right? They are actually, they will when we put them inside our body, the body will break down, our body digestive system will break down these foods and turn them into sugar in our bloodstream. So glycemic index is just like a measurement, okay, for each type of carbohydrate that we put into the body, how fast are they converted to sugar and absorbed by the bloodstream. So if you see here, right, on this chart, okay, foods that have high glycemic index, they get digested fast by into our bloodstream and converted to sugar fast. Okay, and food that have got low glycemic index number, they get converted, they are slowly digested and absorbed slowly into the bloodstream, right? So we will share to you what is the difference of high glycemic index and low glycemic index, which are good for our body and which are good for our health. Okay, so this is a glycemic index chart. We have breakdown carbohydrates into three categories. One is the low glycemic index, one is medium glycemic index, and one is high glycemic index. Okay, so food with low glycemic index number. So when you go to supermarkets, okay, and you see foods or packets, right, showing like low GI, those are the foods that you want to add more to your diet. Okay, and why we want to have eat more low glycemic index food, because these food items will when we put them into the body, the sugars will get slowly absorbed by our bloodstream. So it's gradual, and it's gradual is good. So later, as we go into the next slide, so we share to you why it's important to have low GI foods. Okay, because low GI foods, right, will get absorbed, the sugar level will get absorbed and the sugar level gets slowly released into our bloodstream at a slower level. Okay, so these are some of the categories of low, medium, and high glycemic index foods. Okay, so for people who have like diabetes, okay, so we don't know, maybe some of us in this group or people that, or we know of people in our circle, in our family members, right, who have like diabetic condition. Okay, so people who have either type 1 or type 2 diabetic, right? Type 1 diabetics is where we can't, are people who can't produce sufficient insulin to break down the sugars, and people who are type 2 are diabetic are resistant to insulin. So this group of people, they are recommended to consume low glycemic index food group. Okay, because low glycemic index food groups, right, these sugars are slowly absorbed by the bloodstream, which is good for them as compared to high glycemic index. And another type of people who need low GI foods are long distance runners. Okay, so I'm also doing exercise, and I run like 5 km, 10 km. So I know, right, if I'm taking a low GI food, okay, it gives me more energy. And when I have more energy, right, I'm able to run longer and faster. Okay, so, and this is also what is important, the importance of, okay, why do we need to follow a low GI diet? Okay, so these are the several reasons why we need to follow a low GI diet. Okay, more importantly, it actually helps us to improve our mental performance. So when we have a low GI diet, we don't have the big fluctuation of blood sugar level. We feel alert. Okay, we are able to focus more as compared to if we have a high food, like if we are eating, example of Indian breakfast, they are usually high in glycemic index, like idlis and doshas, right? They are like made from white flour. So these foods have got higher in glycemic index, so we feel sleepy and lethargic after 1-2 hours after breakfast. So that's why you see your office mates are needing a coffee at mid-morning before lunch, right? Because of the high GI breakfast. So when we take a low GI breakfast, it keeps us mentally alert and refreshed throughout the day. At the same time, right, a low GI breakfast also help us to control our sugar cravings. Okay, and it improves our low GI meal, helps us to prevent heart diseases. Okay, and it also gives us energy. It helps us to maintain a healthy pregnancy. And for some people whom you know who have or who have PCOS or PCOD condition, okay, we are encouraged to use a low GI diet, to follow a low GI diet, okay, to improve our system of PCOS. Okay, and the studies have shown, right, having a low GI does helps to improve, prevent the risk of eye degeneration, right? So there's so, and most importantly, right, for friends who you know who are diabetic, they go into a doctor. Doctor always say like, okay, sir, madam, you please control your sugar, go for low GI. So friends whom you know who are diabetic or who you know are diabetic, please follow a low GI. Okay, next. Okay, all can follow my English, right, so far? Okay, good. Okay, if you can follow, give thumbs up. Okay, good. So now we are going to share to you how having a low glycemic index meal can help us to help a diabetic person or help a person with a diabetic condition to manage their diabetes. Okay, so remember just now I was sharing people who are diabetic. There are two types, right? One is type 1 and one is type 2. Type 1 are people who can't produce insulin, and type 2 are people who are resistant. So when we have a healthy low glycemic index, right, means like the blood sugar, when we eat the carbohydrates that we put into the body, it gets slowly released into the sugar gets slowly released into our bloodstream. A low GI meal, okay, it helps a diabetic person to manage their blood glucose level. And when they are able to manage their blood glucose level, they are also able to reduce the blood cholesterol level and also reduce the insulin resistance. Okay, so that's why, right, as compared to if they have a high GI diet. So when they have a high GI diet, right, it will cause big fluctuation in their blood sugar levels, all right, in their bloodstream. And then their body is not able to cope with that, either the lack of production of insulin or the insulin resistance, right, to bring down their blood sugar level to a normal level. So this is so having a high GI diet, right, is very dangerous for diabetics. Okay, yes, so we recommend to have a low GI diet so that the sugar, the glucose is slowly released into the bloodstream. The body is able to manage, okay, with the slowly release of the sugar level into our bloodstreams, right? So this is important for people who are diabetics to first have a low GI diet, and for ladies who are pregnant, okay, you don't want to have the condition of gestational diabetes. So if you do have, okay, please follow a low GI diet as well, because you want to have a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby, right? So please uh, uh, have a low GI meal so that you can manage the sugar levels that is released into our blood system. Okay, and for people who are active or want to maintain a healthy weight. Okay, for people who are active or want to maintain a healthy weight. So, overweight and obesity, right? They are actually uh, actually increases the risk of diabetes, okay, and heart diseases in some of us. Okay, it increases the risk, right? Overweight and obesity increases the risk of diabetes and heart diseases. So that's why it's very important. Like we are working, okay, towards with our coach and using the program to bring our weight down to ideal weight to prevent the risk of such conditions. So when we are overweight and have obesity, okay, these two types of diabetes are okay, are the underlying of these two types of diabetes, of type 2 diabetes, okay, and we are encouraged, right, for people who are overweighted to use a low GI diet as well as a high protein diet instead of having a low protein diet and a high GI diet. Okay, because when we have a high protein diet and a low GI diet, right, more than our body needs carbohydrates, our body needs protein. Okay, and protein are the basic building blocks of our body. And protein help us to cravings also. So more than our body needs carbohydrates, for people who are overweighted, we encourage them to have sufficient amount of healthy, low GI carbohydrate GI meal, but have a high protein diet. This will help them to bring down, keep them full, give them energy, and yet able to help you to bring down your weight to the ideal level. Okay, and for people who are pregnant, okay, we want to help ladies to achieve a healthy pregnancy. Okay, so especially even the baby's health is important even after it's born. So mummies are encouraged to have a healthy low GI diet for their baby also. And acne. So the skin is the biggest organ in our body, right? So when we have healthy skin, it gives us more confidence, not just for females, even for males also. And studies have shown, right, like a food that is eating high GI food, especially processed foods, right? They are some of the causes for acne condition. Okay, so when we swap our diet, our food that we are eating from a high GI processed food to a low GI diet, we start to see our skin getting better. Okay? And these results, right, have also shown like it can reduce our acne condition, okay, by up to 50% in just 12 weeks. Okay, now the next thing is heart health, right? So, wait, I should. Okay, so heart health, right? So helping, how can a low GI diet help us to improve heart health? So a low GI diet can help us to improve our heart health by, okay, reducing the post-meal glucose level. So inside, why we want, some people are having heart condition is because there is a lot of the blood cholesterol levels in their body are high, okay, which is the bad fat that they are putting inside the body. The fat that's inside the body is higher, so the blood is thick, right? And this is because of the bad cholesterol levels that's inside our body. So when we want to, and when we have bad cholesterol, which is LDL cholesterol level, high LDL cholesterol, which is bad cholesterol levels inside our body, it increases our risk of heart diseases like stroke, heart attacks. So how do we work to improve our heart health? Is by having a healthy diet. Okay, and by having a low GI, a healthy diet, right, it helps to bring down our blood cholesterol levels. It helps to bring down our bad fat cholesterol levels inside our body. Okay, which once it brings down our bad fat cholesterol levels, it helps us to achieve our weight loss as well, and also help to improve our heart health. Okay, and mental performance. So just now I was sharing, right? When we have a low GI breakfast, especially a low GI meal, okay, it keeps us mentally alert because the blood sugar levels are slowly released into the bloodstream. So we don't have that big fluctuations in our blood levels that make us feel weakness and tired. So we are able to be mentally alert, we're able to be active, we're able to do more productive work throughout the day. Okay, and eye health. So a healthy low GI diet can prevent age-related, muscular degeneration that can eventually lead to blindness. So having a low GI diet is good for eye health also. Okay, now the next one we come to is sustained energy levels. Okay, so what it means? Sustained energy levels means, okay, when you have having a high GI foods, okay, high GI foods that are high in sugar, processed foods, right? Okay, they are actually give us a lot of quick bursts of energy, right? Okay, and when the low GI foods are slowly broken down over a gradual period of time, it keeps us the energy sustained over a long period of time, and when it helps us to maintain our sugar level sustained over a long period of time, okay, it helps us to manage our hunger, it helps us to manage our our cravings also. Some people are not able to control our cravings, right? Like we may have heard of males or females who said like, okay, I can't stop snacking. Okay, not because they can't stop snacking, but because their diet is making them want to snack more. And why their diet is making one to snack more? Because they are having a high GI diet. Okay, maybe they are eating more white rice. Okay, or they are eating more rotis instead of wheat chapati, for example, right? Or they are eating more white bread instead of wholemeal bread, for example. So when they are eating more of high GI processed foods, right? They are having first they are feeling more tiredness and more less energetic. They are feeling more lethargic, okay, and they having more cravings. So when they convert, they swap their diet to a low GI diet, right? They are able to feel more energetic, okay, and we are able to control our cravings. So many of us do experience this, right? Even for me when I drink the shake, okay, I do experience, I get better energy, and I'm able to. In the past, I like to snack a lot, okay, and now after I've started to take my shake as a healthy breakfast, right, I'm able to feel very energetic throughout the day, and I don't get that cravings for snacking like I do. Okay, and this is very important, okay, and the reduce the risk of breast cancer risk. So studies have shown, right, if you have a low GI diet, it can reduce of the risk of cancer also. Okay, so the next thing is maximize sports performance. So any of us are doing sports here? Okay, good. So I'm also doing sports. So as a person who do sports, right? Whether is it like low intensity or high intensity sports, for people who run like 5 km, 10 km distances, right? They need a lot of energy, and the main source of fuel is carbohydrates. Okay, and the simple form of it is called glucose. So this carbohydrate, right, that we eat or drink, right, is not consumed immediately. It gets stored in our muscles and liver as glycogen. So when the body needs glycogen, okay, it actually breaks down the glycogen into glucose to convert it to energy. So the doctors, okay, especially that athletes, right, have discovered that when using a low GI meal, okay, a low GI diet, it actually improves their sports performance and recovery. Because when they are doing sport, right, they are doing like 1 hour or 2 hour of sports. And so during that 1 hour, 2 hour of sports that they are doing, whether is it a match or running or cycling, or swimming, right, or badminton, they need a lot of concentration, and they need a lot of focus, and they need a lot of energy. So when they studied, the athletes have realized that when they're taking a low GI meal, it gives them more concentration, it gives them more focus on the game, and it gives them energy. Okay, so and I'm so glad the doctors with our Herbalife Nutrition Company have created and formulated many a sports performance program that can help us to achieve that result. Okay, which we'll share to you in the coming slide. So stay to the end. Okay, the last 5 minutes. So and some of us who we know who have